We then asked them what changes they would make to the trailer. They said they would probably make it brighter, and they would probably remove the reporting scene because they felt it distracted away from the film. But I felt it was a great way of first conveying the theme and half telling the story of the film, so I felt that was a great bit to put in there. But on a great note, a lot of people said they would extend it. They wanted to see more of Judicia, and that was a good sign, because I think by wanting to see more of the trailer, well, it means we've instilled an interest from the mere minute, 10 seconds we've already had, and that is a testament to how good that the trailer was, that they want to see more. We then asked them what changes they would make to the website, and they said that they would change the colour scheme. They didn't think red and black worked too well together, which I can sort of see the point on. They also said they would remove the flag. Now, I don't think they quite understood this film took place in England, so they were probably under the impression it took place in America, which is bad on our part that we couldn't convey that it happened in England. We didn't make this film feel very English, which is not good on our part. They also said there was too much text, and then it got a bit boring after a bit, and to publish the pictures a bit better. So it was basically, we wanted it to be diegetic and boring, and they said it was. And by saying it was diegetic and boring, I think we actually accomplished what we set out to do, because we set out to make an official, yes, boring, diegetic website. And it still worked, because people were still enthused about Judicia. People were still telling us about Judicia. And generally, overall, this screening has just brought to light how everyone has differing opinions, and things that you generally thought were good can be seen as bad. So what we learnt from this was that you just can't please everyone. You just have to try and please the masses through using conventions, developing them, but challenging them also. Generally, what we learnt from this was that the audience, after viewing all three of our medias, the trailer, the website and the poster, felt they all complemented each other really well. None of them said that that it was uneven in distribution between all three. All of them commented on the quality. They all understood the feel of the film, and they were all enthused about watching the film, which I call a moderate success. I've learned from this whole experience that generally what you set out to make at the beginning doesn't it usually end up being the end product. You can have a vision inside your head, but I worked in a team with, of course, with Tom Rogers, and generally I would have an idea, bounce it off him, and he would bounce back with something different, and the end result generally became a mixture of both of our ideas. It didn't become what I originally intended it to be, but it sort of evolved into something else. Now, I still maintained a lot of the creative duties of production, because I myself had a clear review of Judicia. Tom sort of got it, but he wasn't quite clear on things, and I feel that was a bad decision on my part, because while I tried to involve him in the story, it was almost like he was hesitant to learn the story. He just wanted to get on with the work, and I found that kind of off-putting almost, working with. I felt he had the sort of attitude as in good enough, where I was under the attitude of we need to get it right, and we need to get it right now. And I've generally learned we need more communication in the team, because I would come to school some days and Tom had just changed all the text on the website to something that he thought was the plot, and I feel that created a very uneven article feeling on the website. Some articles feel different to others, and that was because Tom changed them without telling me, because he didn't quite understand the film. And I feel if I had communicated a bit better with him, we could both have better understood the film and understood each other, and we could have clearly outlined what we were going to do. And it's quite a shame that we never quite got that communication, because it's resulted in what I feel is an uneven film and an uneven genre to the entire Judicia universe. I felt filming of the trailer went briskly, because we got everyone tied down with contracts, and we didn't even need to use the contingency plan because filming just went so well. We showed up for filming, and of course a few mistakes happened along the way, so it involved a lot of rewriting and rescripting, and I did a lot of redrawing of things, because it would generally just be we'd film what we intended to, then while we were on set, Tom and I would get to some sort of idea and then go off and film that. Generally we were under the opinion that if we got more footage than we needed. That in the editing process we could just cut it down and save the best for the trailer, and the audience feedback that we got at the end of this entire coursework definitely shows that we definitely saved the best for the trailer, and that is of course evident because the trailer was so well received. Teamwork was also a big issue I felt with the team. I mean, apart from the communication issues, it was simply I was left doing a lot of the editing and creative work. Tom would draw up papers and stuff to get everything in place, but when it was in place I would have to take the reins and captain the ship, as a metaphor. Now while I enjoyed being in charge, because originally Judicia was my idea, I sort of felt like I wanted a bit more support, because there were times even when I wasn't sure what to do in the editing process, and the website certainly was a big risk and I was often stuck. But instead of teamwork, he would just come along and change things. Now I think that's a way. I don't think that's teamwork personally, but through constant changing and stuff, we were able to find. We originally planned Judicia. We had a general gist of what we were going for, and it was up to me to elaborate and flesh out the story. I named the town Judicia, in fact, after researching words for judgment, and I eventually found the Spanish Latin word judicia, which I quite liked. So that was the name, and it was so catchy and ringy. It was just accepted, and it was stuff like I drew the storyboards because I originally storyboarded the whole trailer. I designed the website because I was the one doing the research, and admittedly Tom really went out all the way out for the posters. So I feel that the bit I did, I think I more than held my end of the bargain. I was more than a worthy teammate because I held up my end. I feel I adequately researched both websites and trailers, and I feel that's evident in the finished product. I feel everything was well planned out, although the fact that everything sort of changed as it went on, because when we got out to film stuff, and we just realised it didn't look as good as when we first thought of it. So I would go off, have more ideas, come back, and we'd film those new ideas. So I almost liked the way that things evolved from the original plan into this new great trailer, poster, and website that I think we have. I mean, I really think they're good personally. I mean, I enjoyed making them as much as I enjoy using them. And I feel that if this natural evolution hadn't happened, that we would have a very childish and a very one-note, one-dimensional world of Judicia. I certainly wouldn't have had the diegetic, so I'm glad that I was persuaded by Tom. And that was one of the good bits about having a teammate, in that we both had differing opinions and we were both able to collaborate and get the best of both worlds figured. To improve on this entire coursework, I think I'd try and get the teamwork back together, have both me and Tom doing everything collectively together. I mean, I felt that as a team we were lacking. It was sort of like two people working on separate things that fit together half-heartedly, you know what I mean? And pretty much overall it's quite like how I pictured, and I think the idea is creative enough, and I feel that along with the audience feedback that the quality of work is good. I just feel that with better technology and more communication and better teamwork, that we could have made Judicia and the entire media campaign just that little bit better. Matthew Wood, 3217, centre number 20821.